Hi there. So, it's time for another weekly update. And if we begin by looking at my current weight, we see that I'm now at about 88 kilograms. So, I've lost some since last week. And it's really not that strange because, yeah, I'm back on track basically. Eating decent, I guess. Or at least not eating too indecently. I've been eating like the one thing I've sort of indulged in it is eating a lot of watermelon. But the thing with watermelon is that it contains a lot of water, so it doesn't really have much else than water in it, even though it's really delicious and I love it. So even though I've eaten a couple of kilograms of watermelon this past week, yeah, it doesn't really add up to much at the end of the day. And it's really good when it's so hot outside that you just need fluids to go in, and then you can just take some watermelon and it's wonderful and everyone's happy. But, today I didn't want to really talk about my diet very much because nothing dramatic has been going on besides the watermelon and the consumption of that. And really, today I wanted to talk about procrastination because this past week was intense and it was all my fault basically. So I can give a short rundown. First off, I had not been grading exams so the week before, partly because of the funeral I attended, and therefore I needed to grade a lot of exams for the first 4 days of the week, from Monday through to Thursday. At that same time, I had a presentation that I had to make until Thursday, outlining basically my entire PhD project. I was scheduled to hold maybe a 2-hour presentation or a 1.5 hour presentation, including breaks, or half an hour worth of material, and then you had time for some breaks and questions and stuff like that. So about 2 hours all in all. So yeah, that took a lot of time that I needed to do and that I had been putting off a bit. And then we had a course on Riemann surfaces that I was supposed to have finished a long time ago, but I never got around to doing it. And then I just sat on my ass not doing it, and now this past week we realized that, oh my god, I actually need to finish that course soon, so I need to get my ass going. And yeah, that was a lot. And on top of that, I had to write a lecture for another lecture series I was making on non-commutative geometry, and partially talking about Kahn's long exact sequence in cyclic cohomology. So yeah, a lot of things that I needed to do and not a lot of time to do it. So basically I was sitting having 16-hour workdays, not sleeping throughout Wednesday to Thursday, then having my presentation on Thursday while not having slept even. And yeah, it was a mess. I can talk a lot about oh, now I'm back on the wagon, but the fact of the matter was that I was so stressed out that I did not have even the time to think about eating bad food. I didn't have the time for junk food. I simply didn't have time for anything besides just sitting down, doing work all the time, and I fucking hated it. And it could have been so easily avoided. I could have used my time previously so much better. I could have finished this course on Riemann surfaces months ago. I just didn't. Part of the reason was that when I read some of the exercises that I had for the course, I felt kind of reluctant to really get into them because it didn't immediately strike me exactly how I would solve them. But the fact of the matter was that when I sat down and tried to solve them, well, guess what? I actually managed to solve them after a while. So and it took a couple of hours, of course. It always does with these difficult exercises. But if I had just spent a couple of hours every week for the past half year, I would have been finished with that course like nothing. It would have been easy peasy. But no, I had to sit on my ass, wait till the last minute to do everything. And I'm still not quite finished with the course, but at least now I have things under control, I feel like. And then the same with the presentation for my PhD project. I could have done that presentation a lot earlier, but I just didn't. I just sat on my ass not doing anything. And this has been sort of a recurring theme throughout my PhD journey, that when you're a PhD student, you have a lot of free time, you have a lot of spare time that you can allocate however you please. And then basically you're expected to do your work and produce results. And as long as you produce the results, then it's fine. It doesn't matter if you work 3 hours, 6 hours, 50 hours that week. As long as you produce results and at the rate that is expected, then you're fine. And I really abused that to the max. I procrastinated like crazy. I did not use my time wisely or properly or anything. I just sat on my ass doing nothing most of the time. And it really came to bite me. And I really don't recommend that, because that kind of stress is, it's certainly bad in every conceivable way. So note to self, don't do that shit. Don't procrastinate like I did. I mean, now it kind of ended okay anyway, but still, it was horrible. It felt bad. So anyway, let's look at what I look like right now and round this video off by performing the required ritual that we always need to perform. As you can see, no major changes since last week, and we're all happy together here watching, or well, maybe I'm the only one watching, or maybe I'm not even watching myself. But anyway, it has to be included. It's part of the ritual. We all now know it by now. And so, with that, I think it's time to actually end the video, because if I think about it, I don't really have much more to say. My back pain situation hasn't really changed since the past couple of times. I have booked a time with a physiotherapist, but it's next week. Hopefully updates on that situation, and I get something that I can do to cope with it better. But apart from that, I have nothing more to add to this. So until next time, have a good one. Goodbye.